history of the world. They lied and stole and smoked cigars, even the girls, and talked dirty and hit little kids and cussed their teachers and took the Lord's name in vain and set fire to Fred Shoemaker's old broken-down tool house.
That's not all. Somebody sent 5 dozen donuts for the firemen, and the Herdmans ate them all. And what they couldn't eat, they stuffed in their pockets and down the front of their shirts.
They also wrote this really dirty word on Doc Waddle's favorite pet turtle. So now she can take it to the One City Pet Show in her mom will let her.
Well, what was the word?
Oh my. And that's not all. They did it with fluorescent paint, so it glows in the dark. When you can't even see the turtle, you can still see the word.
And they put a whole bunch of tadpoles in the school drinking fountain. And Miss Barnes swallowed her 3 by mistake. Somebody yelled, "Mildred, stop! You're drinking tadpoles!" But it was too late.
Did she get sick?
Well, not right away.
And that's not all. Now I'm going to tell you about the Christmas pageant and what they did to that. There were 6 of them. Ralph, Imogene, Leroy, Claude, Ollie, and Gladys. And they went through the Woodrow Wilson School like those South American fish that strip your bones clean. And they went through town the same way, stealing things and whamming kids. It was hard to get away from them. There was only one safe place.
Sweet hour of prayer, because we wrote our arguments there. But Jesus loves us, as they say, because he keeps us miles away.
That's my little brother Charlie. That's what he said when the Sunday school teacher asked what his favorite thing about church was. Charlie said, no Herdmans. That made the teacher mad because all the other kids said nice things about God and Jesus in good feeling. But old Charlie told the real truth. No Herdmans.
I don't care what everybody else said. Other stuff, but the main good thing about church was no Herdmans.
That's not a very Christian sentiment, it seems to me.
It's a very practical sentiment. Charlie was black and blue all last year because he had to sit next to Leroy Herdman in school.
Is he the worst one, Leroy?
They're all the worst one.
Ralph's the biggest, so if Ralph hits you.
That doesn't make any difference. Gladys isn't big, but she's scratching, she's mean, and she bites.
Well, I'm sorry I asked. Just stay with all of them.
That's what I said. Same for them. Go to church.
I'm so glad to hear you feel that way.
Why?
No arguments this year about the Christmas pageant.
I don't want to be a shepherd
And
again.
tell Mrs. Armstrong you want to be a wise man.
I don't want to be in it.
Everybody's in it. Think how I'd feel sitting there on Christmas Eve if my own children weren't in the pageant. Think how your father would feel. You'd feel terrible, wouldn't you, Bob?
Well, actually, I wasn't planning on going this year. You know how crowded it always is. You can use my seat. I'll stay home, relax, put on my bathrobe. There's nothing anything different about the Christmas pageant.
There's going to be something different this year.
What?
Charlie's going to wear your bathrobe.
You just thought that up, Grace.
Why don't you be Joseph? Elmer Hopkins will pay you $1 to be Joseph. Elmer's sick of being Joseph all the time just because his father's the minister. Nobody wants to be Joseph.
Nobody wants to be in it.
Well, what are you going to be this year?
I'm always in the angel choir.
Why can't Charlie be in the angel choir?
Because I can't sing.
From what I've heard in the past, that's not a serious drawback. Wayne in the Major always sounds like a closet full of mice.
What are we going to play?
Bed sheets.
Oh boy, some fools. A bathroom or a bed sheet. Now let's go watch TV.
You know, Mrs. Armstrong works very hard to make sure that everyone has a lovely experience.
Mom, Mrs. Armstrong just likes to run things.
You're right, of course. She directs the pageant. She runs the potluck supper. She's chairman of the bazaar. I think Helen Armstrong would preach the sermon if anyone would let her.
Is that George Armstrong's wife?
Yes.
Well, maybe she'll try to manage the hospital, because that's where she is. I saw George at the drugstore, and he said his wife broke her leg this morning. She'll be in traction for 2 weeks and laid up till the first of the year.
The first of the year? Well, we'll have the crane till Christmas.
She's in charge of Christmas.
Well, she's in charge of the pageant, and she's in charge of the bazaar. I feel sorry for Helen, but who's going to do all those things?
Yes, I'll take over the bazaar, Edna, if you'll do the potluck supper. I don't know what in the world we'll do about the pageant unless... How about Grace?
I just can't end up. Complete offer this week.
How about Grace?
Hello? Grace? Bob?
Yeah?
I have to direct the Christmas pageant.
Does that mean I have to go?
Our Christmas pageant isn't what you'd call four-star entertainment. Mrs. Armstrong breaking her leg was the only unexpected thing that ever happened to it. It's always the same old Christmas story, and the same old carols, and the same old Mary and Joseph. That's what my mother was stuck with. Well, that, and Mrs. Armstrong.
Tell you again, Grace, how important it is that we give everyone a chance. Here's what I do. I start with Mary, and I tell them we must choose our Mary carefully, because Mary was the mother of Jesus.
I know that, Helen.
Yes, and then I tell them about Joseph and how he was God's choice of Jesus' father. That's how I explain that.
I thought Miss Armstrong was in track. How come she's back on her phone or she's in track?
What do you think traction is?
Like when they look at sleep?
No such luck. Beth, we need salt, pepper, and napkins.
And I tell them there are no small parts, only small actors.
You'll leave some for the rest of us, won't you, Charlie?
I'm hungry. We can run some more today.
I can only do that to you again, day after day.
How can I stop you? Where's the chicken?
Grace, where's the chicken?
It's still in the oven.
Of course, you'll have to get some of the baby angels on stage and keep them in line, or else they each tuck away and bend their wings. Bob could do that. And he can also keep an eye on the shepherds. Oh, another thing about baby angels is don't let them wear lipstick, or it'll look crazy and they'll think it's a play. And the pageant also looks perfect, Grace. You know I always put my hardest work into the
Well, that's it. There's someone at my door. I'll talk to you later. I'm coming.
Lady, can you start some supper? I haven't had a square meal in 3 days.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, it's you.
I was getting very lonely at the dinner table.
Well, I guess Helen feels very lonely at the hospital.
Not as long as the telephones are working.
I bet she's going to try no small parts, no small actors.
And getting someone to show the baby angels on and make the shepherd shut up.
Yes. She's suggested your father.
Does that mean I have to go?
And Grace, don't just use anybody's baby for Jesus. Get a quiet one. Better yet, get two if you can. That way, if one turns out to be fussy, you can always just switch them.
Our Christmas pageant isn't what you'd call four-star entertainment. Mrs. Armstrong breaking her leg was the only unexpected thing that ever happened to it. My mother didn't pay much attention to Mrs. Armstrong. She said Mrs. Armstrong was stuck in the hospital with nothing to do but think of problems, and that there weren't going to be any problems. Of course, Mother didn't count on the Herdmans. That was Charlie's fault.
Hey, Leo, give me back my lunch. Kids, here. You stole my dessert again. How do you know? It's not here. What was it? 2 Twinkies? That's what it was.
Hey, Leroy, do you think it's so good to steal my dessert every day? You know what? I'll even give you my dessert. I get all the dessert I want at Sunday school.
Oh, yeah? What kind of dessert?
All kinds. Chocolate cake, Twinkies, Big Wheels. We got fresh fruits all the time. All we want.
You're a liar.
And ice cream and donuts.
Who gives it to you?
The minister.
Why? Is he crazy?
I think he's rich.
Sunday school. Huh.
That was the wrong thing to tell the Herdmans. And sure enough, there they were the very next Sunday in Sunday school, just in time to hear about the Christmas pageant.
What's a pageant?
It's like a play.
Like on TV? What's it about?
Well, it's about Jesus.
Everything here is.
And it's about Mary. It's mostly about Mary.
Who's Mary?
I am. Well, probably I am. I know the part.
Come on, Beth. Charlie, you and David come. Now, this won't take very long if you all settle down. Now, today we will be deciding who will play the main roles in our Christmas pageant. But of course, everyone will have an important part to play. You know what Miss Armstrong always says? There are no small parts, only small actors. Isn't that what Miss Armstrong always says? That's what she always says, but she never really does what it means.
Well, don't you know what it means?
I know what it means. It means that the littlest baby angels have to be in the front row of the choir, or else nobody can see them.
Well, not exactly. It really means that the littlest baby angel is just as important as Mary.
Well, I don't think anyone is as important as Mary.
Naturally, that's what you think, Alice. I think Jesus is more important.
I still think it means the short kids have to be in the front row.
Rose, everyone is important. Mary, Jesus, and the short kids. Now, is everyone here? Beverly, will you step down the hall and see if anyone else is coming?
Yes, Miss Bradley.
Now, you little children will be your angels, so please remind your mothers that you need bed sheets. People in the angel choir will need bed sheets too. If you have any old bathrobes. No. What's the matter? Well, let's make some room for the Herdmans. Now, what happened to Beverly?
I think she got sick.
Did she say she was sick?
No, she just left. I just said, hi, Beverly, and she left.
I see. Well, will someone please tell Beverly about the rehearsal? The next 4 Wednesdays after school. Plan to be here for everyone. What if we get sick? You won't get sick. But of course, Mary and Joseph must absolutely come to every rehearsal.
What if they get sick?
They won't get sick either, Elmer.
Well, Beverly got sick and we didn't even start yet.
We don't know that Beverly got sick. Now, I want you all to think about Mary. We all know what kind of person Mary was. She was quiet and gentle and kind. And the girl who plays Mary should try to be that kind of person. Now, do we have any volunteers for this part? Do you have a question, Imogene?
No, I want to be Mary. And Ralph over there, he wants to be Joseph.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll just make a list of volunteers for these parts, and then we'll all decide who it should be. Ralph Herdman. Now, would anyone else like to volunteer to be Joseph? Did you raise your hand, Elmer?
No.
Just raise your hands, please. Any volunteers? Any of you shepherds? Very well. Ralph Herdman will be our Joseph. Now, Imogene has volunteered to be Mary. I'll just write that down. Are there any other names that I can put on my list? Janet, Roberta, Alice, don't you want to volunteer?
No, I don't want to.
I'll be Mary.
Shut up, Gladys. I'm already married. You be a wise man.
Well, the wise men are usually boys. Of course, they don't have to be, and we could always...
I'll be a wise man.
Me too. Claude, you want to be a wise man? Raise your hand.
What's a wise man? Just raise your hand.
What's left to be?
Some angel.
I'll be that. What is it?
It's the angel of the Lord who brings the good news to the shepherds. There, we do have some volunteers after all. Yes, Hobie, would you like to be a shepherd?
No, I just want to say I can't be a shepherd going for a jump field.
Well, why didn't you say so before?
I just remembered. My mother doesn't want me to be a shepherd.
Why not?
I don't know. She just said don't be a shepherd.
I'm not going to be a shepherd.
Oh, yes, you are. Now, what's the matter with all of you?
I don't want to be a shepherd. Gladys Herdman hits too hard.
Why, Gladys isn't going to hit anybody. The angel of the Lord just visits the shepherds in the fields and tells them Jesus is born.
And hits them.
Homer, that's ridiculous. And I don't want to hear another word about it from anybody. No shepherds may quit or get sick. Now that's all for today, boys and girls, and you can go. And I expect to see everyone here on Wednesday at 6:30. Alice, what's wrong with you? Why in the world didn't you raise your hand?
I don't know.
You don't know? Alice, I expected you to volunteer.
Bradley,
Don't you want to be married?
Don't get glasses off of me.
Come on, Alice. I don't know.
Are you kidding? I didn't dare raise my hand. Imogene Herdman would have killed me. She said, I'm going to be Mary in this play. So if you open your mouth or raise your hand, you'll wish you didn't. But I said, I'm always Mary in the Christmas pageant. And she said, do it then. And next spring when the Pussy Willows come out, that she would stick a Pussy Willow so far down my ear that nobody would be able to get to it. And it would grow and sprout there. And I would spend the rest of my life with a Pussy Willow bush growing out of my ear.
You know she wouldn't do that.
She would too. Herdmans will do anything. Watch. Now they'll do something terrible, ruin the entire pageant, and it's all gonna be your mother's fault.
Jane, Evan McCarthy here. Did you hear about the... Well, it must be Grace's fault somehow. How else would the 6 of them end up in the Christmas pageant when they ought to be in jail?
Vera, Irma Slocum, I just heard that Imogene Herdman is going to be married in the Christmas pageant, and is that a fact? All 6 of them? Vera, I live next door to that outfit, and I'd rather live next to a zoo. Has Grace gone crazy?
Where did they come from? Who let them in? Imogene Herdman? What kind of a child is that? To be married, the mother of Jesus. Where was Reverend Hopkins? I'd like to know. She was what? Visiting shut-ins? Well, I'm shut in and she wasn't visiting me. If I'd been up and around, this never would have happened.
If I'd been up and around, this never would have happened. Well, let me tell you.
Don't tell me, Grace. I'm on your side. The car's over there.
Helen Armstrong isn't the only woman alive who can direct a Christmas pageant. I made up my mind to do the best I could under the circumstances, but I'm going to make this the best Christmas pageant ever, and I'm going to do it with the Herdmans.
Good for you, Grace. The car is over there.
And you're going to help.
Does that mean...
You have to go. Now the inn's back here off stage, and the shepherds come in and gather around the manger.
Where'd all the shepherds come from anyway?
What's an inn?
It's like a motel where people go to spend the night.
What people? Jesus!
Oh, honestly, Jesus wasn't even born yet. Mary and Joseph went there.
Why? Pay the taxes.
At a motel?
Shut up, Ollie. Everybody shut up. I want to hear her. Begin at the beginning.
The beginning?
The beginning of the play. What happens first?
Imogene, this is the Christmas story from the Bible. Haven't you ever heard the Christmas story from the Bible? Well, that's what this play is, so I guess I better read it to you.
I don't believe that. You that they've never heard the Christmas story?
Why not? They've never been to church or read a Bible in their whole life. So your dumb brother told them we get refreshments. Now we have to waste all of our time for nothing.
All right, now. There went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And Joseph went up from Galilee with Mary his wife, being great with child.
Pregnant! She was pregnant!
All right, we all know that Mary was pregnant.
I don't think it's very nice to call Mary pregnant.
Well, she was.
I don't care. It's better to say great with child. I don't think your mother should call Mary pregnant. I'm not supposed to talk about people being pregnant, especially not in church.
And wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger because there was no room for them in the inn.
My God, they didn't have room for Jesus?
Well, nobody knew that the baby was going to be Jesus.
Didn't Mary know? Didn't he know? What was the matter with Joseph that he didn't tell them? Her pregnant and everything.
What's a manger? Some kind of bed?
Well, they didn't have a bed in the barn, so Mary had to use whatever there was. What would you do if you had a new baby and no bed to put the baby in?
We put Gladys in a bureau drawer.
Well, there you are. You didn't have a bed for Gladys, so you had to use something else.
Oh, we had a bed. Only Ollie was it. You wouldn't get out. You didn't like Gladys very much. Remember you didn't like Gladys? That was pretty smart of Ollie not to like Gladys right off the bat.
Anyway, a manger is a large wooden feeding trough for animals.
What are the wadded up clothes?
The what?
It said she wrapped him up in wadded up clothes.
Swaddling clothes. People used to wrap babies up very tightly in big pieces of material to make them feel cozy.
You mean they tied him up and put him in a feed box? Where was the child welfare?
Child welfare's at our house every 5 minutes.
Well, there wasn't any child welfare in Bethlehem.
I'll say there wasn't.
And there were shepherds, keeping watch over their flocks by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of...
Shazam!
What?
And Black Knight, horrible vengeance, the mighty Marvel!
I don't know what you're talking about, Gladys.
The mighty Marvel of Amazing Comics out of Black Knight with horrible vengeance.
This is the angel of the Lord who visits the shepherds.
Out of nowhere, right? Out of Black Knight, right?
Well, in a way.
Shazam!
Now, when Jesus was born, there came wise men from the east, bearing gifts of gold and frankincense
What's that?
and myrrh.
What's that?
They were special things, spices and precious oils.
Oil. What kind of a present is oil? We get better presents from the welfare.
Were they the welfare? The wise men?
Well, they were kings and they were sent.
Well, it's about time someone important showed up. If they're kings, they can get the baby out of the barn until the innkeeper were to get off.
They were sent by Herod, who was, well, he was the main king, and he wanted to find Jesus and have him put to death.
My God, he just got born. They're gonna kill a baby.
Who plays Herod in this play?
Herod isn't in the play.
He's out to kill a baby and he isn't even in the play?
Well, somebody better be Herod. Let Charlie be Herod. And he says, go get me that baby. And they say, okay, because he's the king and all.
But then they don't do it. They go back and get Herod. I'm not going to be Herod!
No one is going to be Herod.
No, Joseph gets the shepherds together and they go wise out Herod. Burn out now.
We're not going in. This baby, they're going to get killed!
Forget about Herod. There is no Herod.
And I run away with the baby until the fight's over.
Somebody ought to fix the innkeeper. Gladys, you have about the innkeeper.
I can't! I'm an angel!
Well, I wouldn't just hang around out in the barn. I'd go get a room.
She said there wasn't any fruit.
Then I'd throw someone out. I'd say, I got this baby and it's the middle of winter, so either get out or move over. I'd go after old Herod.
I'd send the angel after. She could just form her electric finger and turn him into a pile of ashes.
Yeah, Zach! What's the name of this place? You never said.
Christmas pageant.
That's no name, that's what it is. I know name. I call it
Revenge at Bethlehem. The Herdmans thought the Christmas story came right out of the FBI files. At least they picked out the right villain. It was Herod they wanted to gang up on and not the baby Jesus. But the baby Jesus quit the pageant anyway. It was supposed to be Eugene Slocum, but Mrs. Slocum said she wasn't going to let Imogene Herdman get her hands on him. So we didn't have a baby for Jesus. And that bothered my mother. She kept trying to scratch up a baby, even at the last rehearsal. What do you keep writing in that book?
It's like my diary.
It is not. It's all about the Herdmans. Imogene curses and swears all the time. Ralph talks about sexy things. Mrs. Bradley called Mary pregnant. Gladys Herdman drinks communion wine. It isn't wine, it's grape juice.
I don't care what it is. I've seen her 3 times with her mouth all purple. And they steal too. If you shake the birthday bank, it doesn't make a sound because they took all the pennies out of it. And every time you walk into the ladies' restroom, there's a cloud of blue fog, and Imogene Herdman is sitting there in the Mary costume smoking a cigar.
And you wrote all this down, what for?
For my mother and Reverend Hopkins and the Ladies' Aid Society and anybody else who wants to know what happens when the pageant goes terribly wrong.
All right, everyone, let's get quiet. Beth, will you and Alice please come up here so we can get started? Now, today is our last rehearsal, and we're going to go over...
Sorry, I don't mean to bother you. All the ladies are in the back of the applesauce table. Try not to bother you. I guess this is your dress rehearsal?
It's supposed to be. Oh, Edna, didn't I hear that your niece had a baby a month or so ago? A little girl?
Yes, she's 5 weeks old.
Well, I was wondering how it would be if I were to call your niece and ask if we could borrow.
Right. No. I can make up some lie and tell the baby's, sick or cranky or something, but the truth is she's perfectly happy and healthy and beautiful. We all want her to stay that way. So we're certainly not going to hand her over to Imogene Herdman. Sorry, guys.
Miss Bradley, you got my little brother for Jesus?
I didn't know you had a new baby, David.
He's not new. He's 4 years old, but he's double jointed. He could probably scratch up.
Well, I don't think...
I'll get us a baby.
How can you do that?
There are always 2 or 3 babies in carriages outside of supermarkets. I'll just get one of them.
Imogene, you can't just walk off with somebody's baby. I guess we'll forget about the baby. We can just use the doll.
Yeah, that's better anyway. A doll can't bite you.
And Imogene, you know Mary didn't wear earrings.
I have to wear these. I got my ears pierced, and if I don't keep something in them, they'll grow together.
Well, they won't grow together in an hour and a half. What did the doctor tell you to do?
What, doctor?
Well, who pierced your ears?
Gladys?
I'll bet she did it with an ice pick. Watch, Imogene's ears will turn black and fall off.
Well, we'll just find something smaller. Now, is that your costumes? Is that what you're gonna wear? You're not supposed to have your costumes on today.
We can't find our halos.
My wings grow, but
Janet's got my robe.
Our mother doesn't have any white sheet. Can we wear a sheet with flowers? Butterflies. Flowers. Butterflies. No flowers. No butterflies. No flowers. No butterflies.
I've never been a shepherd before. I don't have a costume. I've never been a shepherd before.
Go to a father's bathroom. That's bad, dude.
I don't have a costume.
What's hanging around the house saying?
His underwear.
All right, well, let's just all pretend you're wearing your costumes.
Are we going through the whole thing?
Yes, of course. But first, we're going to practice just the entrances. So everyone go where you're supposed to be, and we'll start with the shepherds. Read the last few words, girls.
Shepherds, keeping watch of their flocks by night.
Music, shepherds!
An angel of the Lord appeared to them and
She's there!
No, Gladys.
I'm Fortnite with horrible vengeance. The
No!
mighty
Go on, girls.
A multitude of the heavenly host.
Music, angels. Music, wise men.
I've got the baby here. Don't touch him. I need him. Jesus.
No, you don't have to. Go.
Why? This ground.
Go.
Yeah. Put the doll back. I don't get to say anything. Some angel just told me what to call the baby. I would have named him Bill.
What a terrible thing to say!
What angel was that? Was it Gladys? There's angels all over the place.
No, Gladys just brings the good news to the shepherds.
Yeah! Unto you a child is born!
Unto me, not them. Me. I'm the one that had the baby.
No. That just means that Jesus belongs to everybody. Unto all of us a child is born.
Why didn't Mary get to name her own baby? What did the angel do? Just walk up and say, name him Jesus?
Yes.
I know what the angel said. She said his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
My God. He'd never get out of the first grade if he had to write all that.
Miss Bradley, what should we do?
Should we start over?
5 minutes, girls. 5 minutes.
we never did start over. And we never did go through the whole thing. The 5 minutes turned into 15 minutes. And Imogen Herdmans spent the entire time smoking cigars in the ladies' room. Then Mrs. McCarthy walked in and saw all the smoke and called the fire department, and they came right away. Fire! There's a fire!
Get the kids out!
They cleared everybody out of the building and dragged a fire hose through the church looking for a fire to put out, but the only one they could find was in the kitchen. All the applesauce cake burned up. Of course, all the ladies were mad about that, and Mrs. McCarthy was mad, and my mother was mad.
Why in the world did you call the fire department about a little smoke?
It was a lot of smoke.
It couldn't have been. You just got excited. And now look, the church is full of firemen, the streets are full of baby angels crying, and shepherds climbing all over fire trucks in half the neighborhood. Didn't you know it was cigar smoke?
No, I didn't know that it was cigar smoke. I don't expect to find cigar smoke in the ladies' room of the church.
Alice Wendelkin's mother was mad too, and the whole Ladies' Aid Society was mad, and Reverend Hopkins said she didn't know a thing.
I've been on the telephone all day and I can't make heads or tails of it. Some people say they set fire to the ladies' room, some people say they set fire to the kitchen. Vera Wendelkin says all they talk about is sex and underwear.
That was Hubby Clark talking about underwear. And they didn't set fire to anything. The only fire was in the kitchen where all the applesauce cake burned up.
I don't know. Jesus said, "Suffer the little children to come unto me." But I'm not sure he meant the Herdmans. Grace, don't you think we should just cancel the pageant?
I'll bet that was Helen Armstrong's idea.
We could blame it on the fire. It makes a good excuse.
I'll bet that was Emma McCarthy's idea.
It's just everyone seems to think it's going to be a
Disaster? Well, they're wrong. This is going to be the best Christmas pageant we've ever had.
But Grace, I don't think anyone will come to see it.
I didn't think so either, and neither did Charlie, but we were wrong. On Christmas Eve, the church was jammed full. Everybody came to see what the Herdmans would do.
Wait till I turn on the lights.
Can't even see where I'm going.
Now watch your step.
I have no idea what in the world you expected to do with this thing.
I thought it might look like a palm tree. I see now that it doesn't. Oh, I don't have any idea what's going to happen tonight. We've never once gone through the whole thing, and the Herdmans still think it's some kind of spy story. This might be the first Christmas pageant in history where Joseph and the wise men get in a fight and Mary runs away with the baby. Where are the kids?
All the children in the world are downstairs in the basement putting on bed sheets.
I mean our kids.
We're here.
Well, go get your costumes on. It's getting late.
It's just gonna be awful, you know. They look like trick or treat, all dirty and fastened together with their safety pins and their moldy old sneakers. Mary and Joseph, I mean. They look like refugees or something.
Well, that's what they were in a way. Mary and Joseph, they were refugees. They were a long way from home. They didn't have a place to stay. They didn't know anybody. They were really cold and tired and hungry and, well, messy.
I don't know about going hungry, but they were sure messy.
Oh dear. Do you think I should?
I think you worry too much. So I push the baby angels on stage, and I give the shepherds their crooks and push them on stage. When do I do that?
Just follow this script.
Angels, shepherds, wise men. Doesn't seem to say when the fire engines come in.
Oh.
Just teasing.
All right, everyone, let's get quiet. Janet, I want you and Roberta down front to help with the baby angels. Can everyone come on stage? I just want to see how you look. Gladys, where's your halo?
Okay, there. Now, I think I have to say something besides baby cake. Why would they all tear off after some baby they don't even know? I ought to tell them it's Jesus, and I ought to tell them where he is.
No, Gladys, you tell them, unto you a child is born, and that's all you tell them. Now I want everyone quiet while we go backstage, while everyone's coming. And good luck.
Miss Bradley, actors aren't supposed to say good luck. We say break a leg.
You can know that, Alice, but in this case, I don't think. For those of you who don't know, it's just a theatrical saying. It doesn't really mean break your leg or anyone else's. And Imogene, try to remember that's a baby. And for tonight anyway, it's the baby Jesus.
decree that all the world should be taxed. And Joseph went up from Galilee to Bethlehem with his wife Mary, who was great with child.
And while they were there, she brought forth her firstborn son, wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn.
Look at them. Don't they look awful? And what's that she's doing with the baby? Oh, I don't think it's very nice to birth the baby Jesus as if he had colic.
Well, he could have had colic just like any other baby.
I don't care. It looks awful, and they both look awful.
So what? They just came a long way, and now they have a new baby to worry about.
Who, Ralph and Imogen?
No, Mary and Joseph.
And in that region there were shepherds keeping watch over their flocks by night.
And an angel of the Lord appeared to them.
And an angel of the Lord appeared to them.
The glory of the Lord shone around, and they were sore afraid when the angel of the Lord appeared to them and said, "Be not."
And suddenly there was a multitude of the heavenly host, saying, "Glory to God on the highest, and on earth peace among men."
And coming from the east were wise men, bearing gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
they really hate ham, Alice. It's the only thing they ever give away in their whole life.
Being warned in a dream that they should not return to their own country, the wise men departed another way. The shepherds also departed, praising God for all that they had seen and heard. But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is right. Mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
Dad, look, Mary's crying. Miss Bradley, look, Mary's crying.
Can you believe it? How Imogen Herdman and all the rest of them? Irma, that was the best Christmas pageant we've ever had.
Oh, I always get all weepy about the pageant. I guess it's the children and the carols and all. But you're right, this was the best one. And it should have been the worst.
There's just something different.
Well, the angel of the Lord was different.
Yes, but you know I like that. What a spirit. Most years you can hardly even hear the angel of the Lord. I must find Grace and tell her.
I just wish now that I let her have Eugene to be the baby Jesus.
Well, who was the baby Jesus?
It was a doll.
Oh, I don't think so, Irma. That was no doll.
Well, it did seem real.
It did seem real, as if it might have happened just that way. We all thought the pageant was about Jesus, but that was only part of it. It was about a new baby and his mother and father who were in a whole lot of trouble. No money, no doctor, nowhere to go. And then, arriving from the east, like my uncle from New Jersey, some rich friends. Because of the Herdmans, it was a whole new story. Imogene birthing the baby, and the wise men bringing such a sensible present. After all, they couldn't eat frankincense. And even Gladys. He's in the barn, go see him. So the shepherds didn't have to stumble all over the countryside. But I guess it wasn't like that for Imogene. For her, the Christmas story turned out to be all wonder and mystery, as if she just caught on to what Christmas was all about. When it was over, we had a party in the basement, but the Herdmans didn't stay. They didn't have any cocoa. They didn't walk off with all the cookies, and they didn't even take their candy canes.
Is that everything?
Yeah, all the kids are gone. You know you still have your bathrobe on. You aren't gonna wear it, are you?
Why not? Wouldn't you mind taking the shepherd in this Christmas pageant?
Oh, yes, you would. Some lady came up and hugged me after it done because I was a shepherd. Should I bring this ham?
It's the Herdmans' ham from their welfare basket. They wouldn't take it back. Leroy said it's a present, and you don't take back a present.
Leroy said that? They must hate ham.
You and Alice swindled him.
Well, what about the lights?
They're on a timer. They go off at midnight.
It's not far from now. It's almost Christmas.
Almost Christmas, kids.
Almost Christmas, Charlie.
It came to pass in the days of, and the shepherds were fighting.
A multitude praising God.
We bring you good tidings of great joy.
BCPE for 2021. And after every show, we always give the gift of appreciation to Tippett. And apparently, we were supposed to give one to Sam, but we didn't know that, so sorry, Sam. So we just wanted to, the juniors put together some stuff, and we just wanted to say thank you for everything that you do for us every single year, and working through COVID this year to still put the show on and having this amazing crowd here. So thank you, Tippett. So here's a card signed from all of us. And
thank you, guys.
This is actually this is your 10th year directing BCPE, right?
Yes.
Your 10th year?
Yes.
So you got this plaque.
Oh my gosh. All right.
This certificate has been such an integral part of our drama club, and we're so thankful for him for everything he's done for us. This is also my 10th year doing BCPE.
Yes.
And so he's been my director every year I've done this show, and we're so thankful for him.
Yeah. She was my first Gladys 10 years ago. So, yeah. Oh, guys, appreciate it. Thank you. It's been so fun.
Can we get a round of applause